Top 10 NFL running backs, 5 to 1, 2016 edition. Number 5, Ezekiel Elliott, age 22. So let's talk about Ezekiel Elliott. We went from DeMarco Murray to Ezekiel Elliott. Why is Ezekiel Elliott at number 5? A lot of people would actually agree that he should be like top running back, and then after when I kind of went off on the whole line thing in a respectable way, most of you probably are like, well, why would you put Ezekiel Elliott if Dallas has the best line? Well, the thing with DeMarco, he's been in this league for what, 5 or 6 years, right? So he's had time to really prove himself, whereas Ezekiel Elliott was a rookie. Okay, that's one. 2, he was in Dallas. He had that off year in Philly. Ezekiel Elliott has only played 1 year, and it was an exceptional year. That's 2. 3, Ezekiel Elliott is younger and more promising than DeMarco as of right now. Elliott, yes, he is with a great offensive line, but he's also super willpowered. He's just a powerful and also fast back, which you don't really see. Like DeMarco didn't really have that in terms of the balance of being a powerful back, but also being that kind of, fast runner. He was a fast runner. He was very agile. I wouldn't say he's a weak guy. I just don't think he's exceptionally strong. In terms of Zeke is he's built, dude. He's really built. Before we even get to Ezekiel Elliott, I forgot to even mention that DeMarco Murray is on a 3-year, $18.9 million contract as a Tennessee Titan. So, again, with that being said, he's got a good line. Zeke's got a great line, okay? So, of course, he's going to have success. I can't put him at number 1 and number 2 and number 3 and number 4 until I kind of see a shift and change. Until he's really proven that he can, next year you can have a terrible year with a great line. That could change my entire complexion of him as a running back in this league, as a football player, And so I need to really see his entire production. So I think 5 is right around the corner, right for him, in terms of where he should be at right now. That's just my opinion. I believe, yes, he's going to be a pretty good running back in the league with the line he's got and also his skills. He's really skillful. He's a skillful back. I think he needs more time, and it'd be cool to see if he can get out of Dallas or something and prove it, I guess, prove his worthiness of it. But again, what would be the point of that if you have a higher chance of winning a Super Bowl in Dallas than then let's say you get signed by Philly? You're not really going to win a Super Bowl there unless you get Carson Wentz and more maturity time and their receiving core and all that, and a lot of changes there. But point being is he needs more time. I'm going to rate him at number 5 because his rookie season, great, but he's also on a great line. So I have to give credit where credit's due on that. And Elliott right now, he's on a 3-year, $18.72 million contract. That's great. So he's going to be making some bank within these next 3 years. So good for him. Let's take a look at his stats. So this year, 15 games played and started, 322 carries for 1,631 yards, 15 touchdowns. His longest run was 60, 108 yards a game. He also had 32 receptions for 363 yards with 1 touchdown and an average game of 24.2 yards. He had 5 fumbles, which again, he needs to definitely work on that. He definitely needs to work on not fumbling as much. In the playoffs, that one game, he had 22 rushes for 125 yards. 22 was his longest, and he had a 125-yard game and 1 reception for -2 yards. No fumbles. Again, he's going to get more playoff time, and we're going to see more of him. More defenses. Can he crack on more? If he can keep doing that, I think he'll be an exceptional. I think he'll be an exceptional pick for being really high on this list, even maybe number 1. He was a 2016 NFL All-Rookie team, also a Pro Bowler, and a first-team All-Pro this year. First in rushing yards, first in carries, Um, you know, first in rushing yards a game. So he had some pretty good numbers this year. Pretty good rookie season. Let's see how he does as a sophomore. Well, only time will tell. So let's get to it, Zeke. Let's see what you got. Hopefully that suspension doesn't hold you back. If it does, hopefully you come back strong and just continuously just produce. That's all I want to see. Ezekiel Elliott, number 5. Number 4, Jordan Howard, age 22. Now we got a discussion here, okay? Murray, Elliott, Jordan Howard being higher than Elliott. Tell you why. First of all, Jordan Howard, if you don't already know, is actually very underrated, I'd say. Now, I'm pretty sure not many people know him if you're more of a mainstream NFL kind of guy. So if you're an actual football guy, insider, you would know who Jordan Howard is, which his rookie year was the same as Elliott's. Numbers-wise, who had the better year? Well, definitely Elliott, I would say. Okay, so why would I put Jordan Howard there? Because the fact that Jordan Howard was able to play in a team that wasn't really pass offensive-wise, the team wasn't a playoff contender. The team didn't have a QB, really. They had to lean on Jordan Howard. He was kind of their guy. And you know what? He embraced that role with a little help of the line, but also his freakish ability. That's something that's great. With Elliott, he had Dak. If you didn't run it with him, okay, it's all right. I got Dak to throw, and I had that ability to have Dak and Elliott. That's a great duo, right? Whose duo is Jordan Howard? I mean, I don't see anything. Hopefully Trubisky and him. Maybe Trubisky will be really great as a QB there. But right now, from this past year, Trubisky wasn't there, right? It was literally just leaning on QBs that really, they just didn't have it going. They didn't really have. They're not like well known. They're not like guys that are like, oh yeah, okay, no worries, they're fine. No, Jordan Howard was the man. Like he really was like the man. Like that's just how it goes. And I mean, you're looking at Howard getting a 3-year, $1.94 million contract. That's nothing. First of all, definitely nothing. And you, like I said, you just take a look at, exactly what was going on. He just had a really good year, dude. He had a really, really good year. Like I said, 2016, they were, what was the record? I'm trying to think of exactly their record. Pretty sure they were like 8-8 or something. Can't think. Yep, definitely trying to. Anyway, let's just take a look at his statistics. We'll look exactly at what was going on with exactly their entire roster and their entire, their entire year, that whole thing. We'll have to look at that later. But what's more important is Jordan Howard. And, oh, my bad. Okay, here it is. Okay, so here's pretty much where I'm getting at, right? 3-13 record. Okay? It's not great. That doesn't sit well. You know what I mean? That doesn't sit well at all. Yeah, not great. And the QB was pretty much, for the most part, I'm pretty sure Yeah, it was either Hoyer, had to be Hoyer. Um, yeah, I think it was Hoyer. I think he was the main. I didn't really pay attention much to Chicago Bears football last year, so excuse me. I'm sorry for delaying so much. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Hoyer. It was someone that really isn't that fantastic. It's not a superstar. It's not a star. I'm not saying he's terrible. He's just not relevant as well. But yeah, I had to go along and be the man. That's why I think he's 4. That's why I think he's better than Zeke. He's just proving that he's better because he's gotten a lot less help. So, um, and look at the stat line here. 15 games played, 13 started, 252 carries for 1,313 yards, 6 touchdowns. Longest was 69. Average game of 87.5. Had 29 receptions for 298 yards, 1 touchdown, 30 for a long, 19.9 yards per game, and he had 2 fumbles. You know, and he even had a tackle in there on defense. He was able to get 4 fumble recoveries. You know, 2 fumbles, but 4 fumble recoveries. So 2 extra ones that he was able to really, get on his own. That's pretty impressive. That's actually really impressive. It shows will. It shows determination. And like I said, 2 fumbles. Zeke had 5. He had 2. He's learning. He was a 2016 NFL rookie, a Pro Bowler, 2nd in rushing yards. Like that should account for something. That really should. And I think he should be, in my opinion, he should be up there with the number 1s, 2s in a few years. Honestly, he's a great running back. So, number 4. Number 3, LeSean McCoy, age 29. So let's talk about LeSean McCoy. He's the top 3 running back in the league because he's proven himself how great he's been. As a Buffalo Bill, he's still producing. He's doing super well, actually. He's still getting those above 1,000-yard seasons, minus the 895 one in 2015. Again, played in 12 games, though. But you're looking at a guy that's still got it. He's still able to get past it, just great way he just changes pace, changes direction, and he's still speedy. You really can't keep up to him. He's a very fast man. So, and it's a guy that I've always liked to just watch was LeSean McCoy. He's so entertaining to watch. So I think he deserves the utmost respect. And I think he's a top 3 because he's just earned that title of being one of the best running backs in the league, He definitely deserves to be top 5 for being on a Bills team that's not contending. Hopefully they will be soon, but they still continuously, they don't. And the whole, going to Buffalo, he was happy in Philly, and that's what Chip Kelly did. But you're looking at he's kind of getting back in his rhythm of being the same old McCoy now in Buffalo. I enjoy watching LeSean McCoy, and I think people should be too. He's just that kind of runner. He's an impact runner. It's great to see. So let's first take a look at what he's done. He's played in 15 games, started all 15, 234 carries for 1,267 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns, 75 was his longest run. His average yard gain was 84.5. He had 50 receptions, 356 yards, 1 touchdown. 41 was his longest, and average was 23.7, and he had 3 fumbles. Again, hasn't been in the playoffs since 2013 with the Philadelphia Eagles. And you're looking at, with the 3 fumbles, he had a fumble recovery. Not bad. Overall, Pro Bowler. Very good to see that. Hasn't been an All-Pro in a while, but Pro Bowl. And pretty much that's it for him right now. But that's good so far. Like, that's worthy of attention. That's worthy of someone really looking at it. You're like, whoa, okay, he's getting it done. Of course he's getting it done. He's getting the numbers. He's going to get it back up. I believe in him. I definitely think he's one of the best running backs in the league. It's just, period, I think he is. So, give him credit. He deserves it. Number 3. Number 2, David Johnson, age 25. The big humble, the man, the dude, the bulldozer guy, the guy that does it all, the You know, the guy that exploded out of nowhere this year, yes, he leaps to 2. From an underrated, not knowing who this dude is, to yes, and number 2. He's definitely better than LeSean. He's definitely just more proven than Jordan Howard and Elliott. They still need time. DeMarco Murray? No. Sorry. And any of those guys. Blunt, you know. Just Lamar Miller, Freeman, you know. Just those guys in general. Every other guy is not deserving of the 2 spot like David Johnson is, because what he did this year is remarkable. It's really good. It adds a new power offense to this Cardinals team that, you know what, Larry doesn't have to do everything. David Johnson can just take over games, you know, and that's pretty good for an Arizona team that's, unfortunately, they're kind of lacking on the defensive side. They lost some players. Hopefully they can regain that. I don't really see them winning the West, but I mean, I can definitely see that they can go on a good path offensive-wise, thanks to this man here. Number 2 for sure. Only his 2nd year here in the league, but the things that he's done is pretty great. 16 games played, 16 games started, 293 rushing yards, 1,239 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, 58 was long. He had an average game of 77.4. He had 80 receptions for 879 yards and 4 touchdowns with a long of 58. And his average game was 54.9. Pretty much yards from scrimmage, 2,118 and 5 fumbles. Fumbles-wise, yes, he needs to take care of this. But 80 receptions for a running back, that's more impressive to me. Is he had over 1,000 of there, and he almost had 1,000 receiving. As a running back, that just shows the diversity that he can do. It's pretty good. That's pretty good for sure. And on top of that, just he had a fumble recovery. At least that's it. That's definitely a positive, you know. And like I said, a first-team All-Pro, of course. Pro Bowl, of course. 3rd in carries, you know. He was 7th in rushing yards a game. Rushing and receiving, he had 20. His total was 20. That was 1st in the league. And yards from scrimmage, he was 1st. Touches, he was 1st. Like, he was able to really get going, and that's why he earned All-Pro. You know, first-team All-Pro, of course. Of course he deserves to be All-Pro. What can I say? This guy he's really good. He's just a really, really fascinating guy. Very humble. I don't really see much of a arrogant, of a brashy kind of player. He's just a guy that's just going to put in work and just show it out there in the field. I love it. The fans love it. I love it. I think he's definitely deserving of being number 2. And he needs to get signed a lot more. 2 years at $1.46 million compared to McCoy's 3 years, $24 million. Yeah, David Johnson, you need to get paid more. They need to pay you more. You are deserving of it. You're very valuable to this team. Arizona, I'm telling you, you better pay this man, or else he's going to a contending team. And goes to a contending team, oof, it could be fun to watch for that. Not fun to watch in Arizona. So just treat him well, and for the fans, enjoy it, because this is a special man. It's very good to see, very entertaining. Glad that he's on this list, and I hope he keeps climbing. Maybe he'll reach the number 1 guy. Number 1, Le'Veon Bell, age 25. He is the best running back in the NFL. And it's amazing how, you know, he gets suspended for marijuana use, comes back, shows why he's the best running back in the NFL. Not this year, I'm just saying in general, that he's just this kind of player that, yeah, I smoke weed, but I'm going to change the game. I'm going to just make sure that I run through people, and I just finesse my way, and I score, and I become the best running back in the league. He is the best running back in the league. and I always cheered for Le'Veon Bell. Are you kidding me? I saw him play at Michigan State, and he went over guys like nothing. Notre Dame, that game, the Boise State game, that was amazing when he went over those guys. I was like, oh my goodness, this is Le'Veon Bell. Who is this man? I researched him. I fell in love with this man, of how just he's so good. I was like, this guy's so good. He better get drafted. He better get high. They better scout him. They better, his athleticism was off the roof. And, landed him in Pittsburgh. Okay? So, Pittsburgh drafted him in the second round, actually. And I was like, okay, well, that's okay, but he should have been a little bit higher pick. As you can see, why I think so kind of has come into fruition now as of why I would think so. But just the fact that his impact is great. First of all, you got Big Ben, which is obviously, he's on the list here for top 10 QBs. You have an Antonio Brown, which I have to make a wide receiver list. Le'Veon Bell, he's the best running back. They have the best running back, one of the best QBs, one of the best wide receivers. Not going to spoil it for my countdown on that. But they have just a great span of offense. Right now, it's a shame he's holding out. But, I mean, if you're going to get paid, it's a franchise tag of 1 year, $12 million. I understand. But at the same time, Le'Veon, you're 25. I would just go back to practice. I want you guys to go to the playoffs really deep. I want you to get to the Super Bowl. You guys got to the AFC Championship last year. I wanted to see you in the Super Bowl. I want to see you in the big game, Le'Veon. I want to see you just demolish opponents, I really do. Holding out definitely is, it's just not a great thing. I wouldn't say I enjoy that. Like, I didn't enjoy watching Cam Chancellor having 2 games off because he was holding out for his contract. Look what happened to Seattle, 0-2. Yeah, he's a very big effect. Yes, pay the man. But also, Cam, come on. Like, I was literally mad at him because I thought, just play the game. Just earn your respect by playing the game. So then they could be like, yeah, we really do need to pay you. Like, at the same time, they will pay you. They may sound like they're not because, business is business. But prove it. Keep producing numbers. That's how you get to the Hall of Fame, like that kind of thing, I understand money is money, but at the end of the day, you got to prove what you got, and it's your craft. And that's why I want Le'Veon to come back. I want to see you. I want to see you just light it up. And, let's look at his numbers. First of all, 12 games played and started, 261 carries, 1,268 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. 44 was his longest run. Average game was 105.7. He also had 75 receptions for 616 yards, 2 touchdowns. 32 was his longest. Average game of 51.3, and 4 fumbles. 4 fumbles definitely isn't great, obviously, because he's had 1, sometimes 0 fumbles before. 4 is not great, but what skyrocketed is your receptions. That's skyrocketed a lot. I think that's just showing your improvement of being not just a running back, but a wide receiver running back. You're just double the threat. Now how are they going to cover you? They can't. They got to focus on you, and that's great. That's why I love Le'Veon. That's why he's the best running back in the league. In 3 games that he played and started, he had 65 carries, 357 yards for 2 touchdowns, 38 long, 119 was his average game. Also 4 receptions for 3 yards, 0 touchdowns. Longest was 4. Again, this is in the playoffs. No fumbles. Great. Not fumbling. That's good. Also the fact that he had 2 fumble recoveries out of his 4 fumbles in the regular season. That's really good. Even tried to complete a pass. He went 0 for 1. It's okay. It's not that bad. You're not a QB. You're supposed to be an athletic freak, and that's what you are. And the fact that he got a Pro Bowl in, and unfortunately didn't get the first team All-Pro, but that's okay. You got a Pro Bowl in. You're getting recognized for everything. For you being yourself, being 3rd in all-purpose yards, 3rd in yards per scrimmage. Like, you're an active player. You're able to just, for the games that you don't play, you make up. That's why I like Le'Veon Bell. He produces. When they pay him, when they give him what they need, he will actually go out there and literally bust his tail to get the most amount of yardage and the most amount of playing time to have Pittsburgh win. That's what Pittsburgh's about. It's about winning, That Steeler Nation is about winning. They want another Super Bowl, pay Le'Veon, but also Le'Veon, come on, get to practice. I want to see you dominate these guys because you are the best running back in the NFL. Plain and simple.